and welcome to TWF Friday Night Smackdown. I, Corey Graves, Renee Young, and Wade Barrett here. And today on Friday Night Smackdown, we're going to have a good show here today on Friday Night Smackdown. Since we already know now that Mankind and Kalisto are now once again the ones that will face Captain Kurt or Leadman James Kurt, or Captain Marvel, Leadwoman Marvel or Glass for the TWF World Tag Team winnings, Corey Graves says. You got that right, Corey Graves, Renee Young says. It's going to be a good show here today. And we sure hope that Mankind and Kalisto, they hope that they will be the ones, to win the TWF, the TWF tag team winnings, which have been held by James Kirk from the Star Trek Farseer show, and also been held by Captain Marvel, lead woman Marvel or Glass from that films, from the Captain Marvel and Marvel films, or whatever you want to say, since Marvel is a Latinist Frenchish borrowed word. You got that right, Wade Barrett said. You got two followers of the 4-1 Bonds of Good fighting two former followers of the 4-1 Bonds of Evil and Mankind and Kalisto, Wade Barrett says. A lot of folks out there might say, what do you mean Kalisto was formerly a follower of 4-1 Bonds of Evil? Yeah, she was from like the first following of Xena until like the fifth following, of Xena. And she was still kind of evil during the followings of Heracles that she was on. But then became good in the fifth following of Xena, and that was it. And well, we all know Mankind was a heel in his two-diff run in WWF, now between 96 and 97 YL, and went heel again in between 98 YL. And don't forget about Mick Foley's three-diff run, heel run in WE, and his third run W in 2006 YL, but as Mankind only had two heel runs, Wade Barrett says, so that's why I say former followers of the 4-1 Bonds of Evil, Wade Barrett says. Well, here's Mankind now, Corey Graves said, who held the WCW tag team winnings with Kevin Sullivan, held DCW tag team winnings with Kevin Sullivan, held the WF tag team winnings with Steve Austin and Terry Funk and Kang and The Rock and Al Snow, and we all know that Kalisto has held the TWF tag team at least 3 times, with Mankind. Wade Barrett said, Corey Graves says, and now everyone's getting in the ring, so now we're going to see how this match is going to play out. This match is for the TWF World Tag Team winnings. First, they are Kalisto and Mankind, and they are the TWF World Tag Team fighters, James Kurt and Captain Marvel. Marvel isn't her true name, Corey Graves says. I mean, I don't know. I don't even know if that is her true name or not. But then again, Corey Graves said, I never really read any of the Marvel funny books or watched any of the drawing films or the Farseer show, if there was one, or the films. And Kalisto right now picks up Marvel and just slams her. So much for the over good doer getting picked up and slammed. Corey Graves said, and a drop kick and a DDT. Well, Renee Young said Marvel, whatever her true name is, came from another world, so she's an over good doer outsider from another world. Renee Young says, I don't know if her over woman might here is going to help her or not. Oh, she just knocks down Calistro and body slam Calistro as well. Well, here comes James Kirk. We all know him for being the leadman overseer of the Starship Enterprise, at least in the first following of Star Trek, Corey Graves says. And we all know everybody likes to make fun of how William Shatner made him talk like when he played him on that show so many years ago. Well, it goes like this. Mankind just knocked down James Kirk, and James Kirk can't be shifted out of the way. He doesn't even have his gun. He's in a bind right now with Mankind, a man, Corey Graves said, who, according to some beliefs, he likes Ake. I don't know how anyone can like Ake, but that's what they said about him at one time, Corey Graves says. And then a pal driver, whatever the English word for pal would be, if pal's the English word or not. I guess pal is. But Kurt's going to have to get out of that bind if he wants to be the TWF World Tag Team, if he wants to keep the TWF World Tag Team winnings, Corey Graves said. Kurt right now has now gotten himself out of that bind that he was in with Mankind, and James Kurt is really not known for much fighting. But then what do I know about him, Corey Graves says. A close row, and down goes Mankind. I can tell you one thing right now, Wade Barrett said. A lot of folks out there, a lot of Star Trek followers out there, would be most likely irked that we don't know as much about Star Trek as some other folks were. Well, we weren't really into it, and now he made a mistake and went to Calistro, and he wanted to go to Marvel, and he just brings Marvel in now, Corey Graves says. Well, Renee Young said we didn't really get into Star Trek as much as other folks had. I mean, we did see some of the shows and some of the films and, some things like that. Renee Young said Marvel's in a bind right now. Mankind then brings back in Calistro now. And now Calistro is going to take down Leadman Marvel here. Well, Mankind and Calistro become the new TWF World Tag Team Fighters, Corey Graves said. Renee Young said unless James Kirk can break up the 1-2-3. Wade Barrett says, I don't know if he can or cannot. He's getting in and doing it all. Mankind just stopped him, from breaking up that yielding. And when Marvel just yielded, here is your winners and the new TWF World Tag Team Fighters, Mankind and Calistro. Well, Mankind and Calistro are the new TWF World Tag Team Fighters. They beat two highly on-looked followers of the 4-1 Bonds of Good and James Kurt and Marvel, Corey Graves says. Yes, they did. And now they're the TWF World Tag Team Fighters once again, Renee Young said. Wade Barrett said, do you think Marvel or Kurt are going to be irked or angry at each other for not winning or not keeping the TWF World Tag Team winnings? Wade Barrett says, because I would be irked. I would be angered at my teammate if we didn't keep the TWF World Tag Team winnings or not. Well, only Bob Walk's going to know that, Corey Graves, so take it away to Bob Walk. Thank you, Corey Graves and Renee Young. I'm going to be talking with James Kirk and Marvel, whatever that's her true name or not, here today. First off, things didn't quite go the way they wanted them to go. Oh no, things did not go the way they wanted them to go, Bob Walk. And anyway, at the end of the day, I'm not happy. James Kirk let me down. But then what do I think from a supposed, supposed star rider? Oh, he goes to other worlds in a starship. He's dealt with many other foes, you know. He's highly onlooked. But as a wrestler, as a fighter, he's not. I mean, I came from another world. But you see, I'm good at fighting. Him not so. If he had his gun, I guess he'd be great at it. But he didn't have his gun. So I am done teaming up with that Paramount Global, Paramount World, Star Trek self, James Kirk. I am done with him. James Kirk, seems that Captain Marvel or Lead Woman Marvel or Glass is done with you. I don't know, Bob Walk. We all make mistakes. I was never a wrestler or a fighter. All I know is I did my good, and sometimes your good's not enough. Yes, there were times in the Star Trek show where things didn't always go right, but everyone sometimes makes mistakes, even highly onlooked star writers as myself. But Lead Woman Marvel needs to know that all men and women make mistakes, are flawed, even if they're over good doers or not. Well, you're right about that. And do you truly talk that way? No, I think that's just a way that William Shatner made me talk like, but I really don't think I truly talk like that. Alright. Well, that's my talk with Lead Woman Marvel, Lead Woman James Kirk. Back to you, Corey Graves and Renee Young. Thank you, Bob Walk, for talking with Marvel and Kirk here today on Friday Night Smackdown. And is all the time we got here for Friday Night Smackdown. I think before we go, we're going to have to talk with Astronomer. Well, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but it seems that Lead Woman Marvel, or Lead Woman Glass, whatever, wants to wrestle Lead Man James Kirk tomorrow on Rampage or Ramfru over them losing the TWF World Tag Team winnings. That's all I gotta say. Alright, we only heard from Astronema, the overseer leadership of the Toy Wrestling Gathering. And that's all the time we have here for Friday Night Smackdown. I, Corey Graves, Renee Young, and Wade Barrett. We hope you like Friday Night Smackdown, and we'll see you tomorrow for Rampage or Ramfru.